Yo, this is Rev. I make music Summer Starved. Today I'm going to talk a little bit in this video about kind of the concepts around the song 90's that's off the Sanctuary EP that's out and about in the world nowadays. Go check it out.
Wishing on some 90's burned out star, wondering if you couldn't be that far away from me right now. I heard you hanging with the flaming tongues that left this town in a hurry. You got the rest of us starting to worry. How you gonna handle the heat?
The 90's is kind of an interesting, I use a few different themes in there. The beginning of it is I was flying low, wishing on some 90's burned out star. And, you know, I've heard, no scientist, no astronomer or astrologer, really, but when looking at the stars, some of the stars that you're seeing actually could be stars that are already burned out. And the way that light travels from there to here, we are seeing, kind of engaging with light from a star that's already doesn't exist anymore. So I was thinking about that when I wrote that, and also thinking about like a 90's actual rock star, someone who, maybe I looked up to as an idol, or like kind of saw what they were doing in the punk scene or in the indie scene and looked up to them. And then, the rock star lifestyle can inevitably end up in burnout. So I was kind of, piecing together those two things, wishing on a star that might not even be around anymore. And then also, thinking about 90's burned out rock stars, So those were kind of the concepts for that first line. Wondering if you couldn't be that far from me right now. I heard you hanging with the flaming tongues that left this town in a hurry. Got the rest of us starting to worry. How are you going to handle the heat? And how are you going to handle the heat is kind of repeated throughout the track. It's the only line that's in the bridge. And it's kind of this little narrative of a person who's, missing someone who once was in their life, but at some point was kind of taken out, was convinced by a group of people that they needed to isolate and to be dragged out of the town, and sort of brainwashed or basically kind of turned against the people that loved them. And it's not necessarily something I've actually experienced. It was just something I was thinking about, where you have these two narratives, these two people in the story, and they were once together. One is wishing the other one was closer. The other one may be wishing that too, but they've been kind of dragged out. And are in the chorus, that person is praying for the plates to move, to knock the other person out of their groove, and praying for the fates to move, And I'm thinking about Earth, the idea of tectonic plates moving and an earthquake, and kind of a disruption of the way that things are. And then the person is hoping with an open hand that they don't lose their land when the rocks turn into sand. So when the earthquake comes, the fates move to a place where they're knocking us out of what we've been living in. Are we going to lose everything? And how are we going to handle the heat when that happens? So it's kind of telling a story using two different perspectives, of two people in relationship, and how that relationship changes over time. Again, it's not autobiographical necessarily, but those were kind of the things that I was thinking when I put those words together.